Greetings, everyone. I'm Angelo Robles. I'd like to talk today, and this is going to be more philosophical than some of the other AI conversations I've had, and probably one within family office and finance communities that you're not really used to. Many of you know I've been active in the family office community for decades. I'm obsessed by it. I'm living through a lot of the things that I talk about, and I'm extremely active being future forward and understanding what I deem to be the realities of AI. And what I'm going to kind of label this, and this is going to be probably more philosophical than anything else, is there's no stopping this train. AI, power, and the collapse of old systems. So I believe that Marc Andreessen, the well-known pundit and VC, really said it best. Everything will get rebuilt. The vast majority of people, including in the family office world, because of their own ego, ignorance, and fear, but it doesn't have to be this way. The vast majority of people, and definitely broadly, will be clobbered by this, clobbered by it. And it's already happening. The Mac 7 isn't really hiring unless you're the top of the top engineering. They're letting people go. They're doing effectively more with less. AI isn't an upgrade. You have to understand that. It's likely going to be a reset. And the great unbundling is, I call it, it has already begun. What we're witnessing isn't just technological disruption. How about this? It's the unbundling, really, of human civilization itself. Every institution, every process, every assumption about how the world works is being decomposed into its component parts and effectively being reassembled. So maybe something to ponder. Consider this. For centuries, we've organized society around scarcity, I guess I would say, scarce information, scarce expertise, scarce capital, scarce coordination. AI eliminates these scarcities simultaneously. When a solo founder can access expert level knowledge across every domain, coordinated with AI agents, as sophisticated as commonly the most sophisticated teams, and they work 24/7, and they generate content now at the speed of thought. What happens to our entire organizational paradigm? Our moat's going to collapse. I go back to the saying that I said from Marc Andreessen. So the answer, maybe a verbiage that I'll put together, is institutional gravity collapses. That's what happens. This is beyond the Fourth Industrial Revolution, because revolutions imply returning to a starting point. What we're experiencing really is civilizational metamorphosis. Maybe that's a better word. A complete phase change in the nature of human organization and really capability. What happens when we're not the dominant predator, the most intelligent, I'll go with the word species on Earth? Previous technological shifts gave us new tools, sure, but AI kind of gives us a new mind. The printing press democratized information. AI does that to intelligence itself, and that's a big difference. So steam power amplified human muscle. AI amplifies human cognition. But here's where it gets tricky. It transcends it. So could I make the comment that the internet connected us? Sure. AI thinks for us, with us, and increasingly, here's the scary part, instead of us. I think we need an exponential reality check. Sam Altman states he believes it could be 300% annual growth. That's just not a number compounded. What is that, like 64x after 3 years? It's a countdown to cognitive obsolescence. But here's what most people miss. The exponential isn't just capability, I mean, it's kind of about access. Today's cutting edge AI requires massive resources, and there's no stopping this train. Now, you could look at that from an investing perspective. Sure, everything is going to come really to me to AI, Bitcoin, and crypto. We're going to see stable coins, the rise of financial rails, possibly Ripple or other platforms. And many of you are still stuck in the mud. So it requires massive resources that we're building out drastically. Tomorrow's will run on your phone. Next year's may be embedded in everything. We're not just watching AI get smarter. It'll never be worse than it is this very second. We're watching it become ubiquitous, invisible, and essential, kind of like gravity and electricity. Maybe there's a control paradox. So who controls the AI? But is that the wrong question? How about the right question? How do we maintain human agency in a world where AI is the invisible infrastructure for everything, where effectively it's just a matter of time, going to be the control layer for everything? Because here's the paradox. The more powerful AI becomes, the more it needs to be, funny to say this, but uncontrolled to be really useful, or our enemies will certainly find a way. Lockdown AI is limited AI, but unlimited AI is potentially ungovernable AI. Yeah, that's a challenge. We're building systems that we cannot fully predict, understand, or control. And we have to, because the alternative is competitive extinction. Is there a new human imperative? Well, what will matter most? Is it going to be fulfillment, integrity? Is it going to be family, honor? Is it going to be risk-taking in service of something meaningful? But go even deeper. In an AI abundant world, the scarcest resource won't be intelligence or capability, for sure, but it might be wisdom, taste, even judgment. AI can optimize effectively, and it will, everything except the question, at least for now, what's worth optimizing for? AI can solve any problem except the problem of which problems are worth solving. AI can create anything except the vision of what's worth creating. And perhaps, at least in the relatively modest short to midterm, this is where humans are, of course, irreplaceable. Not in execution, sadly for some, but in direction. The sovereignty imperative, as I call it, where AI mediates everything, personal sovereignty almost becomes somewhat of an act of resistance. I do think we will be building our own systems, if I could use that word. Some of us may take solace in, again, the human aspects of imperfections of being human, maybe to some degree going off the grid, of growing your own food, teaching your own children, and creating your own art, effectively making your own decisions. And you're talking to someone who's very active and wants to be positive about AI, but absolutely sees the risk. But again, there's no stopping this train. So not because these things that I mentioned can't be automated, but because the act of doing them yourself is what keeps us human. So I mean, I guess I don't fully explore, but need to understand AI's greatest gift might be forcing us to rediscover what we actually value. When survival is automated, and I'm not quite sure about that, but let's go with it, we can focus on meaning. When efficiency is solved, we can focus on beauty. When optimization is handled, we can focus on love. The same exponential curve that threatens our relevance might liberate us from the exhausting work of so-called staying relevant. Now, I am a believer that look at biology that humans work best when kind of a lion is chasing them. Do you really want a utopia? There's been scientific studies on that, or biology studies. It doesn't end too well a couple of years in. Maybe we're just not built that way. So I think there is a builder's advantage to build, to be specific about building what really matters. Build systems that can amplify human flourishing, not just capability, because that's just not, you have to face, again, reality. There's no stopping that train. Build institutions that can evolve, at least for now with AI, not compete against it. Build relationships that AI perhaps supports, but never replaces. Build meaning that transcends optimization. I mean, I mentioned this before. Imagine, I've heard others state, like in 20 years, imagine waking up after an 8-hour sleep and the world of technology has moved forward like 1,000 years. It may be that exponential. And no, this is not hyperbole. In many domains, we're actually already experiencing centuries of progress in years, and in some cases, millennia of progress effectively in months. This was a hard one for me to think through, to write, and to bounce some ideas off others and get feedback. And I know it's a little different from what many of you are used to hearing in the family office world, especially coming from such an advocate as I am, the creator of the AI family office and all that's going to mean moving forward. The question isn't whether you're ready for that world. Maybe the question really could be, are you building that world intentionally, or are you reacting to it? Are you building the engine or just standing in the tracks? But maybe there's a third option. How about if you build, I mean, it depends on your perspective of this, but the destination. AI will optimize the journey. Humans still get to choose where we're going. The train isn't stopping. You may want it to. Sometimes I do too. It's not, because losing this as East versus West, as US and China, I can't trust the other side. What will happen from weaponry to bioweapons? And we could have a somewhat of a utopia in energy, production, manufacturing, robotics. We have to be optimistic, but we have to make that happen. Again, this train isn't stopping. The question isn't whether change is coming. It's whether you'll be a passive passenger or an active navigator in what I think, and what I think most people would agree in pundits, the most consequential transformation in human history. Build with intention, lead with wisdom, and love with courage. Because the future belongs not to those who can't predict it. It's really hard to do. As much as I want to, especially within the family office world, I'm guaranteeing, as I'm kind of laying it out, but trying to be more philosophical, I know it will be different than this. But again, because the future belongs not just to those who can't predict it, but those who will create it, the exponential curve bends, let me use that word, towards those who bend it first. So everyone, I'm Angelo Robles. This is probably well beyond kind of a family office or even finance conversation. It's a deeper perspective, but for my audience of mainly investors, family offices, and those that service the community, it certainly is one to think about. I wanted to be deeper thinking and more philosophical about this and putting carefully these thoughts together. I know some of you look at me as only as go, and allocator in these communities, because I do think also all roads lead effectively to this, just to wake up and face reality. But I look at it deeper from the perspective of geopolitical, as I noted, to family and faith. I'm not without family, have a son, hope to have grandchildren. And we could paint a picture that could be dystopian, but as opposed to being passive and letting that happen, let's take action. we have to understand that, again, the train is not slowing down. Some of you may make the decision to kind of, what is freedom to you? How much money do you have to have? Is that really going to matter? How is that going to be valued? Do I go incredibly rural? Do I just build part of a community of people of like-minded? I think religion will actually begin to rise significantly as people do look. I don't know if I'd quite use the word to go off the grid. And again, there's lots of different directions I could go with that. But why don't we save some of that other deep philosophical thinking maybe for later this summer or early fall? So yes, there is more to this than just my AI family office masterclass or investing. But these are things that we do talk about in my private membership community. Go to angelorobles.com, go to membership and join. And yes, the AI family office is inevitable. Getting an early head start is a huge advantage and going to be incredible for you, the family, and the family office. But these are subjects that you're not hearing within the family office community, partially due to ego, definitely ignorance, and fear. And the legacy aspects of it that want to hold on to how things used to be. The train has left. That just won't happen. It's going to take many of them years to catch up. And then even if they do, I think it's going to be too late. You got to get the edge now. And that's the opportunity that I hope that my organization and your peers who are a part of it receive and value, and honest and open conversations that are sometimes uncomfortable, that you may disagree with, and that's okay. Because I do not think in these other vanilla and very bland and very legacy-centric organizations that you're getting that. So go to angelorobles.com and join. Be a part of what we're building. And now is the time here in the summer of 2025. Everyone, I appreciate your time. This was a little different. I hope you had a chance to enjoy it. And I very much look forward to the next time. Thank you.